gonna be, he had his second win really because of Kanye. You know what I mean? Would Kanye have the career where we be at right now? It was with Kanye. Don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even Talib had a second breath of life. So he helped a lot of guys on it. I mean, he was on Dead President's first album on hip hop. You know what I mean? So Kanye had a lot of history. But once again, when you go outside of music, I personally don't like Kanye the person is how he conducts himself in certain aspects, but musically you can't question his ear. You can't question his talent, especially with the first three albums. I think first three albums are, all works of art. And I was going between this and Minstrel Show. But I just think overall, the feel of the album here, his dedication to the song for his mom and and everything. I think he just his ear sonically everything was there. Lupe was really woo. I mean, come on, karaoke night. You know what I mean? That's what we
certified banger.
First karaoke song did was Touch the Sky,
and that's a Just Blaze beat on there. That's not even a Kanye.
Yeah. Wow. But just to see the people he was able to integrate. To say, okay, these are dope dudes. They might be industry dudes, but these are dope dudes that you need to listen to. You need to give these people a chance. And he was like that segue for that.
And I think Lupe may have gotten on the album because I think wasn't Lupe the reason Kanye found out about like the whole Sierra Leone? But wasn't it Lupe the reason?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure.
I feel like that was.
I remember he kind of had an interview on why he wanted Diamonds to be the first single. To put more light on Blood Diamonds and and just I guess the hypocrisy like we want to wear all these necklaces, bracelets and stuff, but look how we have to get them. You know what I mean? And that was one thing, at least with the early stage, where he was bringing more of that consciousness and interweaving it. I probably said putting medicine in the food.
Right.
I'm gonna give you this, but I'm gonna still sprinkle these jewels on you that make you aware of at least what's going on.
Right. Yeah. I guess I'll follow up. I'll go in the vein of the family of musicians and artists. Kanye's not my number one, but you mentioned his help with Common.
Yeah.
So I got to go B with Common. This album was just incredible. I mean, like I said, man, like from 4 Down, I don't got no complaints, man, honestly. So just basically like where they fit in my life at that time, I guess. Common, I feel like he had dope ass albums before this. He had classic albums before this. You know what I'm saying? He had at least about 2 or 3 before this album. Like Water for Chocolate, Resurrection. You know what I mean? One Day It All Makes Sense.
Yeah. I love that album.
But it all kind of pieced together for everybody, like not just the underground fans, the girls, the dudes on the block, the old heads, you know what I mean? Like the Muslims, the Christians, like it all pieced together for Common at this point. Like it was like
this generation.
Of fans, yeah. Like this is like his fucking opus, you know what I mean? And this is like this is when everything he said this 2 albums ago, he said one day it all makes sense. B is when it all just came together.
Yeah.
And it all kind of made sense. You know what I mean? For him.
And people try to say B stood for Before Erica because he did Electric Circus.
Right.
So he answered that. He was like, nah, like, that's my number one album too.
Well, B is, I don't know. This is like hearsay, but Basement Evolution was the term I got.
I heard that one too. I remember I actually saw an interview where he said he went with B because he says that's one of the hardest things for a lot of people to do is be themselves. So he said that's why he went with B. That was just the one article I came across. Man, I've always said that on just on a mainstream level, I always felt like for my ears, this is the last mainstream classic album. I know for some people it's Good Kid, Mad City. For some people it's it's whatever, right? That's all,
Relative.
But this one just. The intro, just the way that came in. I didn't even realize at the time that my favorite beat on the album wasn't even. This is when I was at the height of my Kanye stan, and my favorite beat on the album was by Dilla, and I didn't come up on Dilla like that, And that when I heard That Love Is, this album sent chills through me in ways that some good albums don't always do. I knew I was sitting through something special when I played this entire
Absolutely.
album. And it was only like, it was 11 tracks. I mean, they really, every track counts.
Nailed
It's sequenced well. Kanye overseeing it, made it great so that everything just blends well together. Nothing really sounds out of place for me. Common was hungry. Common was just delivering. I just love this album. I love this album. And you know what? It's his biggest album also commercially. Like, he almost went platinum. Common almost went platinum.
Yeah.
Common.
Yeah,
of all people.
Yeah. He's an antithesis of platinum.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's my number one. I think this was the best album of 2005.
And Fisher said earlier, like, you gotta like be honest with, in 2005 how stuff felt to you. And like you said, man, I just knew that it was something special. Like
I don't know, because I remember back in 2005, I said to myself, no, he's selling out. Like, why is he working with Kanye? Like, you don't need Kanye to fucking do his thing. And when I look back at it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, the production sense, but I still don't think it's better than, like, What If Retired, What If Resurrection. So, I don't know. B was kind of let down for me because I kind of thought he had no other option but to create with Kanye West. And if he didn't, he pretty much would have been left behind. I kind of feel bad for Common at the time because nothing after B is anything respectable. And
Well, I would disagree, but
I mean, is there
Like, I think
an album better
the
than
very
Resurrection?
next album, Finding Forever, is dope.
I think it's dope, but you know what I actually like better than Finding Forever? I like Dream of the Believer. I thought that was actually better. Finding Forever, I felt like was when he was really, really kind of trying to go a little more commercial. I felt like he was really going there.
He pushed that one.
I felt like this album was a good opportunity for him to get with a producer that was young and hungry. And he still had Dilla on the album. Finding Forever was definitely him going a little bit further out there. I like the album. It's not better than this album.
But like to me, I mean, we don't know. We're not in this man's body, but it felt like he wanted to go that way. You know what I mean?
This doesn't feel forced.
Not at all.
No, it wasn't forced, but
You say you felt bad for him though. I don't. I mean, I feel like
man, I kind of felt like he pretty much had to compromise. Like, all right, if I don't collaborate with Kanye here, then I'm gonna ever be left out. Like, it was kind of like.
But there's nothing wrong with that. He may have wanted his
there's nothing
his
wrong
legacy
with that.
to be more,
Right,
solidified. And I agree with you. I mean, I sometimes flip flop with this and Resurrection as being his best album. It happens to me like all the time. I think he seized a brilliant opportunity. This is my opinion with Kanye.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, still had Dilla on there. I think he even had the Devo Springsteen. Like I think he had a couple people. There's one or two others besides like Kanye.
but you still got the hallmarks on there. Like Bilal is on there. You know what I mean? Like he's still working with like a lot of. I could see if he just totally vacated from his original kind of like sound, like Dilla's still on there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, he didn't. No, I'm not saying he left that. I'm trying to say, no, but if he didn't make B, he would never have been able to get back like on that sound that was happening without him. I mean,
well, I feel like him and Talib, like, all right, it's a good conversation, like,
because like What If Retired wasn't received very positively.
Not
like
really.
It was really like a long
that's
time.
excellent.
And that one was actually
2099.
that one was actually successful though.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was so particular that Electric Circus wouldn't even be received well because it was so far left that pretty much everyone else got left behind with Electric Circus. Because you're like, all right, can Common come back from Electric Circus? The only way he was going to do that is if he were collaborated with the sound of Chicago at the time, which was Kanye. And if he didn't, then he pretty much would have been forgotten forever. Like, it was pretty much a pivotal point.
It was his own fault.
Where, it was his own fault, but at the same time, you know how much Kanye loves Common and all that.
You're doing it.
But that was also a turning point for Kanye. Because once he started producing for other MCs on the mainstream level, on
I'm about to say, don't forget, that
like,
helped. Kanye needed that too.
Yeah, he needed it too.
That helped Kanye a
It was
lot.
pretty much saying, okay, we got... And for the whole nation, Common isn't a big MC. Like, Common is still very small, compared to anything from the West, the West Coast and the East Coast. Like, Chicago is kind of floating out there, and it's still
They're third party. They're third party coast.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Not
But
anymore.
at,
Not
well,
anymore.
2005.
At that point, oh yeah, they were like,
But no, I bumped that album all the time. Like you said, the intro pretty much set it off. Like, okay, this is gonna be a good album,
right.
and I can completely agree with that. I think it's a great album. But I also think, if you look at the history of both of them, they both needed that, and I don't know.
Chris, you want to give your number one?
Yeah,
me and Ray both got
yeah.
me.
So my number one would be the Gorillaz album. I mean,
Gorillaz.
they're not normally known as a hip hop group.
Yeah, about to say they're kind of like electro funk.
But as far as who they got to be on the album was such a communication of hip hop and pop music and rock music and pretty much which is commonplace now. Like everything now is a mixture between pop, hip hop, and you've got some girls singing a hook. So that's pretty much they were doing that 10 years ago, which is kind of crazy. But the tracks they had with De La Soul, obviously, but it was much more of the tracks they did. They had so much respect for everyone they were working with. Like they worked with fucking Booty Brown for fucking like Farside. Like
Talib.
They worked with Talib. They worked with Emmett Doom. They worked with a whole bunch of people who were pretty much all trying to do the same thing. Which
Oh yeah, that's your number one.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, for me, that album in general. I mean, to me, it's more prolific than just Common releasing another album with, Chicago-based artists. Or The Game making an album with a whole bunch of people who are real talented. You're talking about people who are coming from England trying to grab up any talent they can to create something bigger than the United States. Like this, we're not talking about, what's going on in North Carolina. We're talking about what's going on between our ocean, over here, and what you're doing in the United States. Like, to me, that was a much bigger scheme. And, I think it's the most poignant album created in 2005, beyond hip-hop. Like, you can talk about The Game forever, you can talk about Kanye West forever, but these dudes, they grabbed everybody up. And I bet you if you ask Kanye what the best album was in this year, he would say this album, just because it's a collaboration of everything. And orchestras, not just people sitting around a drum machine, not just people writing lyrics with a pen. You're talking about formidable musicians who are trying to come to a common ground.
Well, our studio guest still not impressed. He's still asleep. He's like, I'm not thrilled. All right, man. We'll make our way to the second segment before we end off, and we'll just go into our top 5 artists. And we'll go 5 to 1, man. So you would give us your 5?
Yeah. Number 5, I had Bun B. Number 5 for artists.
True.
I don't think he had the best album when we look at the evolution of Bun B, especially during the time when Pimp C was in jail. That's the tracks that he was getting on. And general collaboration.
This was the Free Pimp C era right here.
That's what I'm saying. Free Pimp C era.
Because of Bun.
Because of Bun. He kept his name alive. And he was just going on everybody's track, whether remixes or not. He was going on tracks, and I'm like, man, Bun put himself out there. You know what I mean? And he was able to establish himself outside UGK, but still kept that name alive. Same way I always felt like Ghost at the time when Wu wasn't really there. But he still upped him, but he said, I'm still bringing the label, bring that brand with me. He still kept the UGK brand, but this is me now.
Right.
And I thought the album could be better, maybe because to me it was too much features on the album.
A lot of features. Yeah.
So it almost felt like more of a collaboration album, like Bun B and feature, almost like like Diddy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wanted more of Bun. It was still a very solid album. I mean, you had Jay on here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Was it Pit Mode? Was it not Pit Mode? I forget. But you know what song I'm talking about? You playing right now?
That's the one.
The Trill. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a Trill album, but overall though, you look at it, and he's one of them dudes. He can transcend. Like I could be on trap, I could be on crunk, but I could be on a primo and a status selected beat too. I think he's one of the most versatile rappers in the game, and I'm still hoping that he does that static album that he said he's going to do for like past 5 years. Because I think to me, and almost seeing the way I look at Freddie Gibbs, like talented rapper, but he's on the wrong type of. Like, we did stuff with
I
Mad
don't
Lib.
think
I'm like, yo,
Renegades is that good.
like I like
him with Madlib.
Yeah, when we went with
He's
Mad Lib, I was
that
like, this is really your lane, but you're comfortable.